Hello everyone, this is Tina with Tia's Treasures, and today I have for you the January 2024 Simon Says Stamp Card Kit of the Month. So let's see what's in here. Mermaid Lagoon. I was hoping for some purple, but this is pretty. We'll do it. I remembered you had your choice. Well, not your choice. They were going to give you either a blue or a purple embossing glaze. And I don't think I have any kind of purple color, but Mermaid Lagoon, you can see how pretty it is just right there. So let's see what else is in the bag. I'm not sure I remember what else is here. So let's take a look. And maybe put it in a way I can see. Okay, is anything else in there? Nope. Ooh, I always have to check the flavor. Green apple. Put that back over here. A full-size embossing ink. We have some splash drops in like a iridescent and a clear and kind of a milky white. That's kind of cool. Some snowflake dies. Ooh, nice. A snowflake embossing folder, cheery snowflakes. Well, I can't suppose, you know, you'd ever have something like depressing snowflakes, hence all snowflakes are kind of cheery. I guess you can be depressed that it's snowing, but the snowflakes themselves, they're always kind of cheery. We have an A2 piece of holographic cardstock. Have a coupon code. Holographic envelope. Cool. Take a look at these papers. Ooh. Little snowflakes on that side. I think that's what they are. They're very tiny. Snowflakes and flowers, maybe. Wood panel. And check. A nice little scene. And these are definitely some sort of little Christmas trees. A purple wood grain and more like that's pretty. There's a little Santas or gnomes. Gotta put your reading glasses on just to see what the small patterns are. It's more like gingham. Those are pretty. And we got our stamp. Don't flurry, be happy. Don't flurry, be happy. Got a round, that's kind of cool. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I have seen some videos what other people have done with it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to be imaginative enough to do something unique. We'll have to see. Let's see what kind of papers we have. We have a lilac, a kind of a slate blue, some white. It looks, that's got to be 110 pound, and a matte silver. Ooh, nice. Silver always looks nice with the snowflakes. Okay, well, let me think about it and see if there's something I can do that's a little bit new. And even if it's not new, at least new to me. So let's go make some cards. Okie dokie here. So for our first card here. Oh man, I got a mess off camera. Anyway, for the first card, I took piece of the pattern paper and I cut it down. I believe it's like 3 3/7. I'm tripping over my own words. By, what is it, 4? That looks about right. And then I've got a piece of the metallic cardstock that I cut the middle out so I didn't waste it. And we're going to frame that. And then we have got the top folding card base from the purple paper that was in the kit. And I went ahead and used the dies, the snowflake dies, and I cut out some snowflakes from purple glitter paper that I've got in my stash. It's actually sticker. So I think it's from Hero Arts. We should be able to pull that up and just stick it right there. So what we're going to do on this is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to emboss right there on the pattern paper itself. And yeah, so let's do that. And I don't have any purple embossing powder, but I've got silver, which will match our little frame. So that's what we're going to use. So we're going to bring in the Misty. And okay, and we will use let's see. I'm gonna go Miss You Snow Much. So kind of these. Something like that. No. I think we're gonna have to do. Yeah, let's get this one first, because we've got the 3 little snowflakes that we're gonna kind of do something like that. Simon Says clear. Snow Much. go ahead and glue this piece down. I've got a little bottle here of, this is just art glitter glue. I put it in this tiny bottle because my, the little thing came off on my art glitter glue. It is very hard to get this thing centered when my frame's not even. Let's get this glued down now. See what we can do. Okay. Let's see if we can get these peeled and on there. I want to put that like right there. Come on. So I know it's been a while since my last video, and this one is a little overdue. But I've been sick, and yeah, and if it was just a cold, I think I could have still done this, but I have been having all sorts of stomach issues where I've been nauseated and just not conducive to getting in my craft room. So this isn't real as sticky as I thought it would be, these things. To really stick them down. And we're going to put one more, I think, right there. And then we're going to use some of those little embellishments that came in the kit. There we go. Let's see, what should we use? We have got some pattern paper again, and some snowflakes I cut out using the dies, and some mirrored cardstock that I have. And so we are going to glue these all over. And we're going to go ahead and use our, well, not the silver, we're going to use the embossing powder that came in the kit, the Mermaid Lagoon. So let's get that first. And we're going to do Don't Flurry, Be Happy. And as much as this pains me, I am going to do some stamp surgery here because I want these on 2 lines. There. It's the first time I have ever cut apart a stamp before, but it just would not work all on 1 line. Don't flurry, be happy. So I got that all heat embossed, and for whatever reason, music started playing in the background, my favorites on Alexa, and I just let it go without thinking that, yeah, if I have music, I have to delete the audio because the algorithm puts that as something I don't own and I am not allowed to play that. So, anyway, from rest on here on out, I will be doing a voiceover. Now, of course, I glued this down to the blue card base that I had cut. And well, I say we, but I mean me, we are going to be gluing these snowflakes all over the pattern paper. Now I cut these out of a blue metallic cardstock that was in my stash, and it's a real pretty holographic blue. And I am going to just kind of throw these snowflakes all around the card. I've got 5 of them cut out there, and I'm going to glue those down, but there's not going to be enough. So I've got some other snowflakes, some small snowflakes that I cut using this die right here. This is a Lawn Fawn snowflake die. It should still be available, I believe. And I try to use that, anytime I need small snowflakes to fill in around other snowflakes. And I think in this case it works beautifully. So I get that all done and they're all glued on, and I think with that pretty shiny holographic blue that's going to be it for this card. Don't flurry, be happy. I love that sentiment. That's so much fun. And it's just a pretty card. You could use it for a get well card or just somebody a little under the weather or whatever you want. So for this third card here, I am going to go ahead and I've got this piece of blue pattern paper, color that came in the kit, of course, again, and I am going to use the round snowflake stamp. And I pulled out a die. You can see it over on the right hand side. I pulled out a round circle die that I'm going to use to cut this out once I have it all stamped out. And again, I'm just stamping this using the clear embossing ink from Simon Says Stamp. We're going to get that all stamped up and pretty, if you can call a naked stamp pretty. I think you can. See, that's pretty. You don't even really need to emboss it. You could just use it as a watermark ink, and I've done that on occasion. The trick is sometimes certain inks are a little bit stickier than others, and you've got to really let them dry to get rid of that stick. But just using them as a tone-on-tone watermark works pretty good. So I'm using the Tim Holtz embossing powder here. I've kind of just got it spread all over. And we are going to shake that off and heat it up. I'm sure you don't miss hearing that heat tool. That can be a little loud. I had to turn it down in the previous 2 instances it appeared in this video because it was so loud that, I wanted to tear my hair out when doing the editing. So now I've got that cut out, and I've got a couple sprigs there I cut out with using a Simon Says die. And I brought in a piece of green ribbon from my stash, and I am going to use that, and we're going to make this look a little bit like an ornament. I've got a little bow that I went ahead and made, and so I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to place everything. Now the card base that I'm using it's a Simon Says Stamp blue paper that I got out of my stash. It's a navy blue. I don't know the name of it offhand. I'm not real good with the name of their papers. And we're going to use the stamp, Your Second to Snow one, that's on the bottom of this stamp set. And I'm going to put it right along the bottom there. And we're going to heat emboss that using the same embossing powder that we used on the little snowflake ornament. And it's going to look a totally different color because of the substrate behind it. This embossing powder is transparent, and it does tend to look different depending on whether it's on white cardstock or blue, like the pattern paper or the cardstock that I used to stamp it on and, you know, cut out the little circle. So it definitely looks different. I don't know if I had to do it again, I might have stamped it in silver because it does look like two different colors. But when you're, you know, using the same embossing powder on a card, you don't tend to think about it showing up in different shades. It still works though. I would still send this card out. And I'm going to glue down my sprigs here. Again, there is Simon Says Stamp Die. And this die just came out this year, so I know this is still available. It's the Arching Spruce die. I had to look real quick and see what the name of it was. This thing did take a while to glue up, so, you know, I spared you that. I edited it out. Edited it. That's a fun word. Now I'm going to cut this one down a little bit. Now I should have put it down even a little bit more because I ended up covering up a lot of the little spruce die here. We're going to get that all glued down, but I covered it up with the ornament. And I should have actually moved the ornament down even further than I had it. But after everything was glued in place, I was kind of stuck with it. I didn't have a whole lot of wiggle room. And you'll see what I mean coming up here. I'm going to glue that. I was kind of like, which way do I glue it? You know, gotta have room for the ribbon. And I glue that little ribbon down before I do anything, which luckily I remembered because I'm pretty bad sometimes at remembering to glue down my ribbon first. And I'm just going to put the glue directly on the ribbon. It's easier than trying to figure out where the ribbon is, you know, putting it on the cardstock and trying to make sure that the ribbon hits it. And I just kind of fold it over. So I've already got the glue on both sides. And this is where, you know, I put the glue on here and I should have put it down more. But, you know, I was probably distracted by writing messages on my cardstock. So if you, you know, aren't like ready to tear your hair out and you're still watching, please give me a thumbs up. It helps me a lot with the algorithm. And I'm trying to figure out the algorithm still. And I haven't. I don't think I ever will, but I can keep trying. So, you know, here, like I said, I should have moved that ornament down just a little bit. And I'm putting on my Misty on top to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And now I am going to take some score tape because I was going to glue it with regular glue, but I'm like, I think in this case score tape might work a little bit better because of the ribbon. I want to make sure I get it nice and flat and everything's down nice and tight. And so I put lots of score tape all over the back. Besides, I've got a lot of score tape in my stash. I need to use it up. It can be a bit aggravating. If I was trying to use score tape an entire video, I think I would get a little frustrated. But on one card, it's not too bad. And it's some strong stuff, so, you know, you could use it all sorts of places. I have some little like boxes I make sometimes which work real well with score tape. Yep, there's my messy head in the frame. That's the problem with curls, is sometimes you just don't know how far they're sticking out from your head. And believe me, I do fix my hair. It looks really cute when it's done. Now I've got these little glue dots, which I love using glue dots for bows. I usually put one on each loop of the bow and one on each tail. And I did that here today, except that I put them on the bow itself instead of on the card. And I also put a couple pieces of, or spots of liquid glue on either side of where the ribbon's looped, because I want to make sure that this bow doesn't go anywhere. So if you put it through the mail or whatnot, that bow is going to be exactly where you put it. And again, I should have moved the bow down slightly, but once I stuck it down, it was like, oops, it's where it's at. And I still don't think this is too bad, but a little bit extra ribbon I think would have really got that point across of it being kind of like an ornament or a bauble a bit better. A bauble a bit better. Yeah, I like that. So that was that card, and now we are on to the fourth one finally. So for this card, I took the blue paper and I embossed it using the Cherry Snowflake embossing folder. And I am using these these little snowflakes again. So I got a lot of use out of the snowflake dies in this kit. I figured that those the snowflakes from the embossing powder didn't stand out enough. And I did try to use some silver embossing powder on top of this embossing folder. I wanted to use the ink and try to see if I could just get those silver embossed, and it didn't work out. I got embossing ink everywhere, and so I said, okay, we're just going to use a plain piece of embossed cardstock then, and I will just put the snowflakes right on top of it. And I am using the sentiment, so much thanks, which I'm stamping out here on the little piece of scrap paper that we have left. And I am going to use the silver embossing powder to match our little silver snowflakes. And I just really, these snowflakes are a lot of fun. This whole kit was a lot of fun. I love the snowflake kits that Simon does. This time I had a little bit of thinking to do because I didn't want to really do what everybody else had done with this kit. Now my first card with the pattern paper, it's similar to some of the other cards that people had done, but I had to use that paper. It was just too pretty not to use. And so I am stamping out so much thanks, and I'm putting that thanks to where it touches a little bit of that so much. So I had to stamp them twice because they are touching, and you couldn't do that lining them up together. We'll get a little bit of that embossing ink right there. Get that all stamped out. And now we're going to get that embossed with the silver embossing powder. This is some Simon Says stamp silver embossing powder, if I haven't mentioned it before, which I probably didn't. Or at least I don't remember doing it, but then my memory's shot sometimes. I'm going to get this all heated up after I dump this powder back in the container. And it is so satisfying to watch that powder go from like a powdery gray to a metallic silver. I could watch that over and over again. So get that done. And let's see where I'm at here. So I've got this piece of silver cardstock. You can see that it's got these little lines going down it. It's a textured silver cardstock that was in my stash. I think I got a pack of it from Tonic a while ago. And so I'm trying to use up some of these specialty papers because I just have too much I've been hoarding. And, you know, I don't have any room left in my craft area. I've got three if you want to get technical, hobbies that I do. I make jewelry. I do soap for my own enjoyment I make, and then of course the card making. And so, and I do enameling. And so my craft room is just packed to overflowing. I've actually got bins of stuff that I need to take out of here to get myself a little bit more room And I haven't done it yet after Christmas. I got to move a lot of my Christmas stuff out, which is why my just out of, you know, camera is a mess. It's so much. So I know a clean craft room is a happy craft room. In my case, just a little bit less cluttered craft room is a happier craft room. So I used my guillotine trimmer to cut that down, and the thanks, it doesn't go exactly to the snow much, so it might look like it's a little off center, but it is not if you look at the thanks. Now I'm just going to glue this embossed panel down to the silver cardstock. I could have used the score tape again, but I think once a video was enough, especially since I really didn't worry about this sitting on that textured cardstock. The glue was going to be fine on it. And I'm going to glue my little snowflakes down now. Before I started making this card, I had it off to the side, and when I went to grab it, the snowflakes went flying and everything went flying on the floor. And I was able to find 2 of the snowflakes, but the third one just disappeared. I found an extra blue one on the floor, you can see off to the side, but I had to recut the smallest snowflake out of silver cardstock because I was down on my hands and knees searching, and the void just ate it. And it's not even that dirty down in the floor where I was looking around. I mean, I've got a few things that I need to put away for Christmas, but there's no reason why it should have disappeared, but it did. I'm just glad it was just the one snowflake. It could have been so much worse. So I get those kind of glued down in a nice triangle shape there. You know, our nice rule of 3, I guess, if you want to call it that. I don't know if you call it that for a triangle, but a triangle does have 3 sides, so I would think so. But then again, what do I know? Now this piece of cardstock wants to curl a little bit, so I just put an acrylic black over it to hold it real quick while I went and I searched for my little dots that we're going to use. The little embellishments from the kit. I had the acrylic black on a little bit longer than it shows in the video, but you know, we don't need to sit here and watch paint dry, so I kind of just edited it out a bit, and I am going to put some of these clear they're the iridescent little dots all over the place here on this card. Kind of no rhyme or reason to where I set them. It's kind of like, oh, that looks like a good spot for one. I am not really good with placement on these things. Some people, it makes a lot of logical sense. Not so much with where I place things. I'm just like, does it need it here? Yeah, okay, let's stick it down. So I hope everybody had a fantastic holiday. I mean, it's already the middle of January. Unbelievable. But, you know, I guess I should be working more on Valentine's cards. I do have some craft kits. I think Hero Arts is coming in this week. And so hopefully I'll get that video out in a more timely manner. I mean, it can't be any worse than this one. Of course, this one, I didn't even get this card kit until January was, you know, I think January 10th maybe it showed up. It took a while to get to me. And then I figured out the cards I was going to make, and then I got kind of sick and didn't work on anything for a while. So when I looked at my card sketches, I had to figure out exactly what they meant, which tells you something about my drawing skills. So anyway, that's the 4th card. And I think all 4 of these cards, they turned out pretty good. I would have to say my favorite is probably the one with the snowy scene pattern paper, but that's just because that pattern paper is so pretty. So here we go. Here are my 4 cards. Don't Flurry, Be Happy. We're showing that one first because that's the name of the stamp set. And here's my favorite. I love purple too. Purple is just such an awesome color. So We got Miss You Snow Much. And here we go with the your second to snow one. And last but not least, Snow Much Thanks. And this is Snow Punny, all of these. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and bye-bye for now, everyone.